Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another episode of Doom Mod Madness. This time round, we're playing Massmouth 2. This is a heavily story-driven mod that puts you in the shoes of one really ugly green abomination, which we can see on the left there. And the whole point is that I'm trying to track down my employer, which is the horrible green abomination on the right. So yeah, I don't think you're meant to take much in this mod particularly seriously. It's a pretty fun little mod. It's actually pretty old as well. It was released back in 2003, which makes it over a decade old. And it does a lot of interesting stuff. For example, voice acting. That's something I didn't expect to experience in a Doom mod. And cinematic moments as well, which, again, something I don't really expect to experience in a Doom mod. Sure, this kind of stuff is pretty old hat nowadays, but you gotta cast your mind back. In 2003, getting this kind of stuff out of a Doom mod was absolutely mind-blowing and fantastic, so it's no wonder that Massmouth 2 back then managed to get itself a Cacodemon Award. These days, however, it's kind of aged like milk, to be perfectly honest. The texture work has yet to inspire me, let's say. And there's a few aspects of the gameplay that just comes across as really goddamn frustrating, and I'm going to try and illustrate that as soon as I manage to jump this gap. The weapons as well. I've seen better weapons. I've been spoiled by stuff like Russian Overkill, to be perfectly honest, but this is the game's representation of a shotgun. There's also a machine gun, which is the same gun with a green light on the top, and we've also got a laser blaster, if I can find it. Have I run out of ammo already? No, there it is. That's a laser blaster, which is absolutely naff all damage, but to be honest, it doesn't really matter what weapon you pick, because the vast majority of enemies in this particular mod seem to be borderline indestructible. These guys, for example, are one of many enemies that cause me to want to burst a blood vessel in rage, because I've got a railgun here. Sure, I'm not firing it very well, but it's supposed to do an absolute crap ton of damage, and how many hits have I landed now? 3, 4... The thing's still alive, and if I take any kind of hit from those energy blasts that it's sending off there, I will pretty much die. I don't have enough health to really withstand these guys, so I get the impression that the intention here was for you to largely run away from the vast majority of stuff. And that makes sense, because there's another big old enemy, the big stompy thing we saw striding away earlier. We're gonna have to run into him in this little area soon. And he also does a metric crap ton of damage, so let's see if we can get around him without him stomping us to death. Oh, Jesus. Nope, we're dead. But yeah, if I'm gonna be perfectly honest with myself here, and honest with you folks watching, playing Massmouth 2 up here in 2015 isn't really all that much fun. And you know what? I feel like such an arsehole for saying that. I mean, sure, back in 2003, having to run away from the majority of enemies, having to pick your battles carefully, may have been an interesting and fun mechanic to experience, but for me, it just kind of drags the whole thing down. It makes it feel really tedious, and that's it really. I'm just not feeling it. It's a damn shame too, because there is so much stuff to experience in Massmouth 2. It's a pretty big mod. It's got a ton of varied levels. I mean, the main villain is John Romero, for Christ's sake. How can you not love that? It's just that for me, at least, the mod is so front-loaded with frustrating encounters that I seriously had to push myself through to go on and complete the whole thing, even with the aid of the good old God mode cheat. I think the simple truth is that better mods have come along in the meantime and refined the experience. So in that regard, I've been completely spoiled. And I'm dead again. Fantastic. So anyway, rather than leave this on a sour note, I've decided to skip ahead a little bit and show you what's in store if you do decide to persevere with Massmouth 2. Because let's face it, where I dislike this particular mod, other people may genuinely enjoy it. So for your troubles, here's John Romero's head, apparently duct-taped onto an evil Mega Man body. That's definitely a sight to behold, but this isn't a boss battle, believe it or not. This is actually a job offer. This takes place a third distance into Massmouth 2, so, you know, spoilers ahead, but depending on which skull we pick here, red or blue, a different chain of events will play out in the following stage, and I can't begin to tell you how cool that is. Even though I may, overall feel a bit meh about Massmouth 2, I can definitely respect what it attempted to do, especially considering this was around about 2003. So what we're going to do, we're going to pick the blue skull, because screw you, Romero, you made Daikatana. Rejected.
I'll give you that.
And because we can't harm him with conventional weapons, we're just going to hit him with a shovel. But seriously, the magic shovel right here, I wish this was available a lot earlier in Massmouth 2 because it makes it a hell of a lot more entertaining. All those bullet sponge enemies I was complaining about earlier, they suddenly go down a hell of a lot easier when faced with the might of the magic shovel. And believe you me, these guys are bullet sponges. They also do a crazy amount of damage. I think they've got like automatic shotguns or something stupid like that. But because I took the blue skull, I've actually taken the more difficult path, because if I would have taken the red one, I would have been able to skip all the enemies through this door and just move on to the next mission as an agent of evil John Romero. But no, I like sticking it to the man. And so should you, because Romero made Daikatana. Anyway, if you're interested by all this, the link, as usual, is in the description below. Feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed this particular video. Leave a comment if you want to suggest any future mods for me to check out, or if you just want to tell me how much I suck at this particular one. I don't mind. If you're not already subscribed by now, then you're probably a lost cause. This has been Mr. Icarus, playing Massmouth 2. Icarus out.